I can see that you just mentioned you are from Delhi.
Sure.
Your father is IPS officer.
Sure.
You stay in Chanakyapuri, you studied from Sanskriti school.
Sure.
And you're too privileged to become a civil servant. I mean, it's good. You can be IAS officer, fine, maybe corporate law service officer. But these privileges you have will be detrimental for your good work in services like IAS, isn't it? IIT.
So I feel, my primary motivation for joining the services was indeed to give back to the country that has given me so much. So like you mentioned, sir, I've lived in a government house all my life. So my college education was government funded. The school I went to was built on government land that was subsidized. My fees was subsidized because of the same fact. So I owe a huge debt. Everything I am today is because of the government. And sir, so all the privileges that you also mentioned are because of the government itself. And so I owe my life to the government in that sense. And I believe working in the civil services is a way of repaying that debt, sir.
And that's only about the internal motivation you're talking about. My concern is that because of these privileges,
Sir.
your personality, in fact, lacks certain things. For example, that your father might already have. I mean, he might not be coming from as privileged background as you're coming from. So, if you compare your background with his background, and then you'll realize that isn't it that you have imbibed certain values which are detrimental to become good IAS or IPS officer. IAS is fine.
So, it is my understanding that privilege is not the primary factor that drives one's traits or the different virtues that a person imbibes. So it is a factor of your internal thinking, the way you've been brought up by your parents, the challenges that you face in your life. And so while a thing like privilege can certainly ensure that living in a rural area perhaps might be tough, or so living in a far-flung area might be tough. So, but my perspective is that is a challenge I want to overcome. So I want to give back to the country, and I want to ensure that by going there I can understand the true nature of India, of which I've only read about in books.